Joe Biden was hurt by what happened in Iowa. I mean, we all were. Our confidence in the system wasn't all that. But he in particular was hurt by the apparent rise of Pete Buttigieg, who has been rising in the polls after Iowa. I can't say for sure that that's why Joe Biden has decided to go in this direction, but take a look at their most recent ad.
Barack Obama called Joe Biden
best vice president America's ever had.
But Pete Buttigieg doesn't think much of the vice president's record. Let's compare. When President Obama called on him, Joe Biden helped lead the passage of the Affordable Care Act, which gave health care to 20 million people. And when parkgoers called on Pete Buttigieg, he installed decorative lights under bridges, giving citizens of South Bend colorfully illuminated rivers. Both Vice President Biden and former Mayor Buttigieg have taken on tough fights. Under threat of a nuclear Iran, Joe Biden helped to negotiate the Iran deal. And under threat of disappearing pets, Buttigieg negotiated lighter licensing regulations on pet chip scanners. Both Vice President Biden and former Mayor Pete have helped shape our economy. Joe Biden helped save the auto industry, which revitalized the economy of the Midwest, and led the passage and implementation of the Recovery Act, saving our economy from a depression. Pete Buttigieg revitalized the sidewalks of downtown South Bend by laying out decorative brick. And both Biden and Buttigieg have made hard decisions. Despite pressure from the NRA, Joe Biden passed the assault weapons ban through Congress. Then he passed the Violence Against Women Act. And even when public pressure mounted against him, former Mayor Pete fired the first African-American police chief of South Bend. And then he forced out the African-American fire chief, too. We're electing a president. What you've done matters.
On the Democratic side, that's about as rough as I've seen so far this cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Republicans, they pull out the knives, in like seconds notice. But that for a Democrat, that was pretty brutal. The music against Mayor Pete.
Although I don't know if the music were reversed, if I would have been like, yeah, but those lights under the bridges are important. Like, I think half of it was just music in my head.
Yeah.
Well, the music's part of the psychology of the
good score.
Like we were talking about off camera, John, the thing about being vice president, when you take credit for these things, we don't know how involved the vice president is. Other than Cheney, that was the only time when we knew the vice president was running things, because Bush would be going for a bicycle ride. Cheney would handle it.
Sure.
But it's difficult to judge, you know what I mean? Say how much of this he did. But it's a political ad. What's it supposed to? It's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be, this is my best and this is your worst.
Yep.
This is my best and this is your silliest, or whatever. That's what political ads do. They always say, oh, we're not gonna do that. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, because that's what politicians do, because it has been proven that it works.
Yeah.
I just like watching moderate candidates go after one another and just, seeing, just like fighting over who has less effective ideas.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
It's been a rough
and
week.
I think progressives win when moderates do that, so more of it.
Definitely. We were talking in our production meeting, there's a meme of like all the knights at the round table putting their swords in the middle. And it was like Bernie bros, Warren liberals, Klobuchar fans, and in the middle it's just hating Mayor Pete. It has been a big week for down and on Mayor Pete.
Nothing can heal the Warren-Bernie divide like Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, common enemy. And we're gonna have his response in one sec. Just on the Biden thing, I don't know how involved he was in any one of these things, but I've been following him for about a year. And man, he says he was behind all the passage of all those things, the ACA, Iran nuclear deal, the Paris Accords, all that stuff. I gotta ask, what was Barack Obama doing during these 8 years? Because apparently Joe Biden was holding down the house.
Yeah.
He was going to the pancake breakfast and eating just a full stack and a grand slam.
Shaking hands.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
Kissing babies.
Yeah, I wonder how Barack
Massaging
Obama
shoulders.
feels about Joe Biden claiming credit for like everything that happened. But anyway, that is what you do. I get that.
That is, you're throwing that away, but that is a huge question.
It is.
That's a huge question, because it would be, if Barack Obama said those things about Joe, that would be a whole different commercial, right? And that commercial would have much more impact if he was like, yeah, Joe helped me do A, B, C, and D.
We don't know who he's going to endorse, if anyone.
We don't know. He's got to endorse somebody, but we don't know who it's going to be, And you keep going.
I know who it's not going to be.
You keep going back to Pete and Iowa. Man, imagine if they knew he was gay.
Yeah,
that would have been a whole. People would have been walking across gyms all over Iowa.
Exactly.
He's what? I'm going to that side of the gym.
So we have the response from Mayor Pete to this ad. Here you go.
Response.
Well, it's a typical political attack, and it's too bad because so many communities like mine in South Bend, we know that we might look small from the perspective of Washington, but to us, it's what's going on in Washington that looks so small and small-minded.
After CNN's Jeff Zeleny pointed out that Biden made a similar inexperience attack on Barack Obama in the 2008 presidential race, former Vice President Biden replied, quote, "This guy's not a Barack Obama." What do you think of that?
Well, he's right. I'm not, and neither is he. Neither is any of us running for president. And this isn't 2008, it's 2020.
It is, and so thus he's had many years to master his Barack Obama impression, which he pulls out all the time.
Way to say nothing.
Yeah. That was a lot of nothing.
Constantly, just it's just word salad. It's like inspirational word salad, and then Trump is like senile, xenophobic word salad, and they're very similar. I think a debate. I don't want to see a debate between the two of them, but it would just be kind of funny to see.
To see 3 hours go
Who's
by,
making less sense?
and not one thought is expressed. That would be entertaining.
Like, defend yourself, dude. If you actually have something to say, if you think that ad is wrong, then talk about your legacy. If you have a legacy, but it feels like you don't have a legacy yet, and what you do have is actually firing a black police chief and being like having a letter written by a bunch of African-American police officers about your tenure and about discrimination in your own police force. Yeah. One of the 3 or 4 different, anyway.
Well, that is his legacy.
Yeah.
I think it would have been hilarious if right when he said that, just none of us are Barack Obama. A little Barack Obama head just popped up. Damn right you ain't, and then just disappeared. Just damn right you ain't, and then just disappear. Wouldn't it be great if Barack just finally reached a point like stop being Barack like this? There's nothing to lose anymore.
Yeah.
Say what you really think. What you really think. That would be awesome.
But what does he really think? I don't think we know.
He's one thing. You can't read him. You can't read it. And they said this through his whole presidency. And a lot of times people are like, he doesn't know what he's talking about or whatever. And then they'd find out 2 years later, like, wow, he was right on top of that. Like he literally, you don't want to play poker against him. I'll tell you that. He doesn't give up anything. But just if that head would have popped up, can't we get Key and Peele to bring back Angry Barack to just pop up? Damn right you ain't. That'd be just, oh man, that would have been perfect.
Don't miss your chance to win a trip to Los Angeles and have dinner with Cenk, John, and me. Just head to tyt.com/dinnerinla to register to win. Sign up for a free Aspiration Spend and Save account. Then you just register your eligibility and swipe your Aspiration card daily on purchases to gain entries. Not only are you entering to win a trip to Los Angeles and dinner with TYT hosts, you're also not depositing your hard-earned money into fossil fuel exploration or production. As a friendly reminder, even if you already have an Aspiration account, you must still register for eligibility into the sweepstakes.